Today we're going to be making my favorite dessert of all time, which is cheesecake. I make a protein variation of the cheesecake, and I'll go into details on what ingredients to use to increase the protein content of a cheesecake while keeping the fat content relatively low. To start off, we're going to be using almond flour. Almond flour is higher in protein than regular flour and lower in calories. So go ahead and add about 2 cups of almond flour for the base. Then we're going to want to add a couple tablespoons of brown sugar and also some honey, some salt, and almond butter, and about 2 tablespoons of regular butter. This is to get the crust to stick together, and you're just going to mix all the ingredients together, then pat it down onto the pan. We're going to be using a cake pan, a springform pan that releases after you bake the cake. After you're done spreading the crust, make sure to poke holes in the crust so that it doesn't rise too high. So just use a fork and poke holes all around it. This is what you typically do with pie crust. And we're going to pre-bake the crust at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 minutes. So after 8 minutes, it should come out like so, slightly solid, and able to hold the filling of the cheesecake. For the filling, we're going to start off with cracking 6 eggs into a bowl, and then we're going to add a cup of Greek yogurt. My cheesecake is going to be a triple fruity cheesecake, and we're using a peach flavored Greek yogurt to give the filling a bit of that extra fruit taste. The main ingredient of our cheesecake is going to be cottage cheese, so we're using 2% milk fat cottage cheese instead of cream cheese. This makes it so that the protein content of the cheesecake is very high, and it's also a little more airy, less dense, so you can eat more of the cheesecake without feeling full. For flavoring, we're just going to add a few teaspoons of vanilla extract and a few tablespoons of sugar. I use monk fruit sugar, that's 0 calories, and I also added in 2 tablespoons of cinnamon almond butter. This just gives the cheesecake a little bit more filling, more taste. And we're going to mix it all up and then put it in a food processor. If you had a large enough food processor, you can just throw in all the ingredients and you wouldn't have to mix it up in a large bowl like I did beforehand. We're going to be using my small little food processor 3 times to be able to blend all the cheesecake ingredients together. Now that we have our crust and filling done, we're going to add the filling onto the crust, just pour it over, and as you pour the filling over, you're going to want to use a fork to pop all the air bubbles. We definitely don't want any large air bubbles in the cheesecake. This is so that the cheesecake filling will bake evenly. This cheesecake is a triple fruit flavored cheesecake, and the fruits we're going to be using is peach, mango, and strawberry. So for the interior of the cheesecake, we've already used a peach flavored Greek yogurt, and we're going to be adding onto that flavor by spreading a peach mango fruit spread onto the cheesecake. So you have 2 options here. If you want the fruit mango spread to be kind of just random throughout the cheesecake, you'll do what I'm doing right now, and that's just basically taking the fruit mango spread by the handful and scraping it down into the cheesecake. Now, if you wanted just an even layer, you would actually bake this cheesecake about maybe 10 minutes so that it forms like a little bit of buoyancy and it can hold on to the fruit layer without the fruit sinking. But here, the way I did it, you'll just have like random pockets of the mango peach fruit spread throughout the cheesecake, and that's kind of what I wanted. So there's your 2 options. Now you're going to want to bake the cheesecake for about an hour at 325 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll know when it's done when you remove the cheesecake and you wiggle it and it's firm. And we're going to be letting the cheesecake cool for about an hour because you can't put a hot cheesecake in the fridge. It's just not going to work out. While we're waiting for our cheesecake to cool for an hour, we're going to create our final layer of fruitiness, which is going to be strawberries. So we want to use fresh strawberries to top off our cheesecake. But you can't just place fresh strawberries on a cheesecake because what will happen is when you place it in the fridge, the water content from the strawberry is going to leak out. So what we actually have to do is create a kind of like an intermediate layer between the strawberries and the cheesecake, and what we're going to be using is frosting and strawberry jam. To make frosting, you really only need 4 ingredients. You need powdered sugar, butter, cream cheese, and vanilla extract. Go ahead and mix the butter, vanilla extract, and cream cheese together until it's smooth, and then go and add a little bit of powdered sugar while whisking the powdered sugar into the cream cheese one layer at a time. This is going to make it so that you can get a more even sweetness across the cream cheese. When you have reached your desired sweetness level for the cream cheese frosting, you can go ahead and just use the spatula to mix it a few more times to get the cream cheese smooth, and we're going to apply the cream cheese onto the cheesecake. The cream cheese frosting is the most unhealthy part of the cheesecake, so I would just apply a thin layer, enough to cover the entire top completely without any open spots, but I wouldn't, double down and apply like 2 layers of cream cheese frosting. Next, we're going to spread strawberry jam on top of the cream cheese. So while the cream cheese frosting can act as kind of like an intermediate between the cheesecake and the strawberries, you actually want jelly as a second intermediate because jelly will be able to retain that water content that the strawberries are going to leak inevitably way better than cream cheese can. Make sure to pat down your strawberries as much as possible so that less water is going to come out when you put it in the fridge. You're going to want to stick the cheesecake into the fridge for at least 5 hours. We want the cheesecake to firm up properly. Any less than that, and it's still going to be a little wobbly. Now, the thing you have to watch out for is when you stick it to the fridge, the strawberries are going to start leaking a little water. So what you can do is use a paper towel to kind of soak up the water as the strawberry leaks up. So just check on it every hour. And I want to give special thanks to my friends who came over and helped me down this cheesecake because there's no way I could smash a full cheesecake by myself. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me at bbqwayu on Instagram. I always try to post a new cooking idea reel/short per week. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.